Welcome to From Center Ice. My name is Courtney, and let's talk about the Blackhawks, shall we? Tuesday night, the Blackhawks were in Columbus to take on the Blue Jackets once again, and I didn't get to see most of this chaotic game. As luck would have it, the Ice Hogs dropped the puck at the exact same time as the Blackhawks did. I had the Hawks game on the TV, I had the Ice Hogs game on my computer, with the Ice Hogs still searching for their first win and Cale Morris getting his first professional start and goal. I was paying more attention to the Hogs. So I'm just gonna rapid fire through the questions that I had for this one, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. Question number 1. Will a skater other than Patrick Kane show up to this game? Short answer, yes. And I'll get to that after I wrap up the other 2 questions. Question number 2. Will they get through this game without the puck going in their net off of their own player? I said I didn't watch the whole game, but I did go back and watch the recap of it, and it appears that none of the goals that the Columbus Blue Jackets scored went in off of a Blackhawks defender. So there's that. Question number 3. Will Carl Soderberg see more power play time? In Friday night's game against the Carolina Hurricanes, near the end of the game, Jeremy Colleton put Carl Soderberg out there on the first power play unit with Patrick Kane. It immediately led to a goal, so I had this question going into Tuesday night's matchup against Columbus. The answer is yes, he did see more power play time, and he scored the first goal of the game. And guess what? It was on the power play. And from who else but Patrick Kane, who once again had an amazing game. Patrick Kane picked up 1 goal of his own and also notched 3 assists throughout the rest of the game. The first coming on Carl Soderberg's goal. It was the first goal of the game, so you know. He also got an assist on Adam Boqvist's absolute laser into the back of the net. Also on the power play. He was camped out where you would normally see Alex DeBrincat get his one-timers off. This time it was Adam Boqvist, and oh my goodness, what a shot that was. It was so fast, it hit the back camera and the net came popping out, and the officials didn't know if it was goal or not. But it was. Adam Boqvist has his first goal of the season, and it was a friggin' beauty. And then the most important point of the game for Patrick Kane came 8 minutes and 12 seconds into the second period. It made the score 3-2 for Chicago, and that point was his assist on Brandon Hagel's first NHL goal! Finally! It finally happened! I can stop asking about it now. And of course, it came in a game that I was barely paying attention to because I was watching the Ice Hogs play. Now let me just describe those few moments for you. I mentioned that I had the Blackhawks playing on the TV, the Ice Hogs playing on my computer. I took a small break from focusing on the Ice Hogs. I glanced up to check out what the Blackhawks were doing. As soon as I did that, I hear the goal horn go off on my computer. The Ice Hogs scored a goal. Evan Barrett got his first professional goal, the first goal of the game for the Ice Hogs, tied at 1-1 in the second period. So I looked down from my TV to my computer, was trying to celebrate this goal and see how Evan Barrett had scored it, since I missed it because I was watching the Hawks game. And while I was watching the replay to see how he scored the goal, I hear that the Blackhawks have scored from the TV. And in the back of my head, I think, oh cool, I'll watch that once I'm done watching this. And then I hear Pat say Brandon Hagel, and I go, what? So I look up, and sure enough, Brandon Hagel put his first NHL goal into the back of the net. It was a wide open cage. Korpisalo had made a stop. The puck bounced up in the air, somehow went behind the net. Patrick Kane got it back, sent it to Brandon Hagel, who shot it probably as hard as he could into the back of the net. I have been waiting for this moment since he was inserted into the lineup. I was a big fan of his when he was with the Ice Hogs last year. I know he's got that offense in him. He was one of the point leaders for the Hogs. He's looked great this season so far. He's been one of the most consistent players out there on the ice. He's gotten a ton of chances. He's racked up some assists from getting the puck to his teammates. He should probably have some more assists, but the guys just couldn't finish it. But he was just purely snake bitten from getting that first goal no matter what the heck he did. Apparently, all it took was me not watching the game, even though I had it on the TV, for him to get that first goal. Because of course, I always miss important goals for dumb reasons. If I had just been watching the Ice Hogs game, I would have seen Evan Barrett's goal instead of having to watch the replay because I was watching the Blackhawks game when they weren't doing anything. So then I could have heard the lead up to the goal, seeing as the puck was bouncing every which way and they were getting all excited. So then I would have looked up and I would have seen Patrick Kane get the puck to Brandon Hagel and seen him put it in the back of the net. But of course, that's not how it went down. The other important goal that I've missed throughout my hockey fandom was Dave Boland's cup-winning goal in 2013. If you thought that the Hawks were going to win that game in regulation, you're a liar. Sorry, it's just the facts. So, assuming that game was going to overtime after Bickle had scored, my phone was charging in the other room. I went in there to text my mom that they had tied the game. While I am in there sending that text, I hear from the other room, they score! And there was no reaction from the people I was watching that game with. I didn't know who had scored. All I know was somebody had scored in that game in Boston. It could have gone either way. Either the Blackhawks were ahead or the Boston Bruins retook the lead. Thank goodness, obviously, it was the Blackhawks that scored. We're not rewriting history here, but I missed seeing that goal live because I couldn't have plugged my phone in the room that I was sitting in. One day, I will learn. I saw it pretty soon after. I saw the replay, but I also saw the replay of Boland's goal. It's not the same as seeing it live, but it is what it is. I'm happy for the kid. He more than deserves getting that first goal, and I'm kind of glad I could stop asking about it. But now we get to see how the points come in after getting that for him. Now that will be interesting. If you watched this game on Tuesday, you know that it was absolute chaos, which I am usually a fan of chaos when it comes to hockey. I've given myself the name the Commissioner of Chaos because why not? So let's go through it, eh? First period. 8 minutes and 11 seconds into the first is when Carl Soderberg got that first power play goal, first goal of the game, assisted by Patrick Kane, of course, and Alex DeBrincat. 10 minutes and 3 seconds into the first period, Patrick Kane picks up his goal. It was a very strange one. Columbus was trying to clear the puck out of their zone. Matthias Janmark said, nope, that's not gonna happen, because he reached out his arm and the puck just hit him and stayed in the zone. Patrick Kane and Pius Suter had a 2-on-0. Suter got the puck over to Kane. Kane's not gonna miss that shot. It's a goal. And then he trips over Korpisalo's pads and goes crashing into the boards, which was terrifying. And later in the game, David Savard sent Patrick Kane crashing into the boards very awkwardly, very concerningly. Is that a word? It is now. Patrick Kane started this season slow. I said it many times in these videos. He didn't look great. The team around him was able to be competent enough to keep the team afloat. Some games win them when he was absent. Not physically, but mentally, it seemed. But if Patrick Kane at this point in the season were to go out with a long-term injury, such as that broken collarbone he got in 2015, that would send this season into a downward spiral. It's like playing Jenga, right? They've made all these moves, consider them line moves, roster moves, but that one piece at the bottom has remained consistent and in that same spot. It's the only one down there holding the rest of the structure up. And yes, maybe you've built a beautiful block tower out of these Jenga blocks. It looks nice. It looks fairly sturdy. Maybe don't test it too often or blow very hard on it. You know, it could fall over and be destroyed by any tiny thing. But overall, it's looking pretty good. Then imagine some outside person coming in, seeing your Jenga tower. For one reason or another, they move that bottom block that has been there holding up the rest of this tower and has been in that same position the whole time you were building it. With that being the only consistent block on that level, it's the only one left. So once it's removed, the tower falls over and it's destroyed. That, my friends, is what would happen if Patrick Kane went out with a bad injury. This is not 2015. This is not a cup-winning team. They don't have Jonathan Toews to pick up the slack. So that can just not happen if they want the rest of their season to be somewhat of a success. Thankfully, Patrick Kane is okay. There were a few heart-stopping moments, but he's all right. And Alex DeBrincat was ready to mix things up and fight for his teammate. You always love to see that. Anyway, at that point when Patrick Kane had got his goal that made the game 2-0 Chicago. 11 minutes and 34 seconds into the first period, Cam Atkinson gets Kevin Lankinen all by himself and scores the first goal of the game for Columbus. That's one that your goaltender is gonna wanna have back, but you can't take it back at that point. They go into the intermission 2-1. Second period starts, Columbus is on the power play, 48 seconds into the period, Patrik Laine sends a one-timer past Kevin Lankinen. That ties the game at 2. And like we just discussed, 8 minutes and 12 seconds into the second period, in comes Brandon Hagel's first goal to regain the lead for Chicago. And then shortly after, 9 minutes and 24 seconds into the second period, Patrik Laine again gets his second goal of the game to tie it back up. Can we just talk about how annoying it is that Winnipeg is finally not in our division this season because they're in the North Division playing all Canada teams, and then they make the trade with Columbus for Pierre-Luc Dubois and send Patrik Laine and Jack Roslovic down to Ohio, and they keep scoring on the Blackhawks. I hate seeing trades work out that well for other teams that aren't mine, especially when those trades work out well and those guys continue to score on my team. Frustrating. But in comes Dominik Kubalik. 15 minutes and 5 seconds into the second period. He's got the puck at the point, sends it to the net, it goes in, the Blackhawks regain the lead and take a 4-3 score into the second intermission. 3 minutes and 37 seconds into the third period on the power play, that is when Adam Boqvist sends that absolute laser of a shot into the back of the net. Exactly 10 minutes into the third period, here comes Oliver Bjorkstrand and he beats Kevin Lankinen, makes the game 5-4. 6 minutes later, exactly 16 minutes into the third period, here comes Oliver Bjorkstrand again, getting his second goal of the game, tying it at 5. 4 minutes to play in regulation. You got two guys for Columbus looking for that hat trick, and Patrik friggin' Laine and Oliver Bjorkstrand, their point leader, by the way. So that's fun. Thankfully, neither of them get the hat trick in regulation, and this game goes to overtime. The funny thing about that is the last time the Blackhawks and the Ice Hogs played at exactly the same time, the same night, the same time for puck drop, the Ice Hogs lost to Iowa in overtime. On Tuesday night, they did beat the Cleveland Monsters, but that same night, the Chicago Blackhawks beat the Columbus Blue Jackets in overtime. So I went into this overtime period thinking, well, maybe that's a good thing and it's a good sign. And can they do it again? Or is it different this time because the Ice Hogs won? And it was a little different. Neither team scored in overtime. The shots were 5-1 in favor of Columbus. Kevin Lankinen came up with some massive stops to close out that period. And Patrick Kane was playing defense in overtime? Not only do you not see him play defense in regulation, but in overtime? I thought I was hallucinating. But it worked. Columbus didn't score in overtime, thanks to some defensive efforts, and of course, thanks to Kevin Lankinen. And this game goes to a shootout, and Blackhawks fans everywhere clench their teeth and are starting to sweat, because this team has not been good in the shootouts all season. Patrick Kane still has not gotten a shootout goal, so that tells you right there how it's gone. Cam Atkinson was up first for Columbus because of course he was. He loves scoring on the Blackhawks. He shot the puck wide, and it moves on to Alex DeBrincat shooting first for the Chicago Blackhawks. And he scored! A Blackhawks shooter finally getting a shootout goal? Imagine that! And it was a beautiful shot, but up next for the Columbus Blue Jackets was Patrik Laine, and Kevin Lankinen was up to the task. He made the stop, and the Blackhawks were still ahead in the shootout. Next up for Chicago was Patrick Kane. Game on his stick. If he scores, the game is over and the Hawks win. He came in on Korpisalo with speed. That's something that we haven't seen from him this year. He's been doing that slowdown move. Hasn't worked at all. He mixed it up a little. He got Korpisalo to move. It was a good chance, but Korpisalo just stuck out that left pad and did what he does best and saved the shot. So the game wasn't over yet. It goes back to Columbus. Jack Roslovic was in that third slot. If he scores, the shootout is tied and it goes back to Chicago, and you just have to hope that one of our other shooters can score. Roslovic goes skating down to Kevin Lankinen, and I don't know if Kevin just has a big finish intimidating factor to him, but Roslovic didn't even get a shot off. At first I thought maybe Lankinen had poke checked him, but no, one too many moves with the stick and the puck just glided away and off to safety. Kevin Lankinen only had to make one actual save in that shootout, but it didn't matter because he got it. Alex DeBrincat scored and the Blackhawks won in the shootout. They won this game 6-5. That's madness. So they're back in Columbus tonight to take on the Blue Jackets once again. I get to watch this one in its entirety. So let's go over my 3 questions. Question 1, will the Blackhawks tighten up their defense? Oh, buddy. Their defense did not look good against Carolina last Friday. And again, while I didn't see the whole game on Tuesday, I did watch the highlights, and all of the shots that Columbus scored on the defense didn't look great. And the Blackhawks had 2-goal leads. They gave those away. And anytime you give up 5 goals, the defense can be tightened up. So will we see that tonight, or will we see another chaotic game against the Blue Jackets, which seems to be the theme of this year? Question 2, will Brandon Hagel's luck finally improve? He now has that first goal. He's not searching for it anymore. Will the puck luck start going in his favor, and maybe he gets another goal, or maybe he picks up an assist or 2. We shall see, but did getting that monkey off of his back turn the puck luck in his favor? Hopefully. Question 3, do we see Adam Boqvist get more chances from the left circle on the power play? I don't see why you wouldn't try it more with that shot he had on Tuesday. And it's not like that's a one-off. Adam Boqvist's strength is his shot and his offense. He's working on the defensive part of his game. He looks better than he did when he came into the league. But when he gets those offensive chances, he can really wow you. And if you weren't impressed by that goal on Tuesday, I don't know what to tell you. So, I don't know how you get him to that point. Do you put him on power play unit number 1, move DeBrincat into the bumper position? We know that he can get shots off from that center point of the ice. Or do you try Boqvist on power play unit number 2? I would keep him on unit 1, maybe have him and DeBrincat sort of switch spots, move your feet, keep the defense on their toes a little bit. That gives you 2 fantastic scoring options. And when the other team is shorthanded, that's a lot to keep track of if you have these guys moving around, finding different parts of the ice. Just a thought. It'll be interesting to see what they go with tonight. So, those are my 3 questions for tonight's game against the Columbus Blue Jackets. What are your thoughts about this team? Do you have any thoughts about the last game? Do you have any thoughts about tonight's game? What about the season as a whole? I would love to read them. Leave them in the comments down below. If you want to hear more from me or from Center Ice, you can subscribe to this channel for some more Blackhawks and IceHogs goodness. Or you can head over to FromCenterIce.com. You can check out game previews for the Blackhawks, game recaps for the IceHogs, and keep up with the latest podcast episodes. You can also follow us on all of the social media pages. Those are all linked in the description down below. All of that said, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's see what the Blackhawks do tonight, and I will see you after this one. Bye, guys. Thank you all for watching. Please hit that subscribe button to catch more From Center Ice content. If you could, hit the like button on this video, maybe share it with a friend or 2. And while you're here, check out the podcast playlist and catch up on some old episodes. We will catch y'all next time. Bye!